The era of the Windows empire as we know it is officially over. For decades, Microsoft and Intel held a vice grip on the world of computing, a partnership so dominant it was dubbed the Wintel monopoly. But in a sudden and massive shift that has left industry analysts scrambling, AMD CEO Lisa Su just pulled back the curtain on a secret Microsoft has been trying to bury for over a year. It turns out that the AI future Microsoft has been selling you, the one tied exclusively to their specific software ecosystem and their hardware requirements, was built on a foundation of sand. In a recent high-level industry presentation that is spreading like wildfire through the tech world, Lisa Su revealed that AMD's latest silicon isn't just faster than what Microsoft anticipated, it effectively renders the current Windows AI strategy obsolete. We are talking about a total dismantling of the hardware-software hierarchy that has defined your digital life since the 90s. Today we are diving deep into how Lisa Su exposed the biggest lie in the tech industry and why the Windows empire just hit a wall it cannot climb over. To understand why this is such a massive deal, we have to look at what Microsoft has been doing with Copilot and their AI PC initiative. They have been telling the world that you need a very specific kind of hardware, a neural processing unit or NPU with a specific power rating, to run the future of computing. They made it seem like they were the gatekeepers of this new intelligence, but Lisa Su just walked onto the stage and demonstrated that AMD's open architecture approach has already surpassed Microsoft's closed-door benchmarks. More importantly, she proved that the software limitations Microsoft claimed were necessary for security and performance are actually just artificial barriers designed to lock users into a subscription-based Windows future. When Lisa Su showed the world that AMD's hardware can bypass these barriers while providing 3 times the efficiency, she didn't just launch a new processor. She ignited a fire that is consuming the very pillars of the Microsoft business model. The lie began with the definition of an AI PC. Microsoft set a standard of 40 TOPS, or trillion operations per second, as the magic number. They claimed this was the threshold for a true AI experience. But Lisa Su revealed that while Microsoft was busy marketing that number, AMD was building hardware that operates in a completely different dimension of flexibility. AMD's Ryzen AI 300 series and their enterprise-grade Instinct chips are doing things that Microsoft's Windows kernel isn't even designed to handle yet. This means Microsoft has been holding back the true potential of modern chips just so they can control the rollout of their AI features. It's like having a supercar, but being told by the manufacturer that the roads only allow you to drive 20 miles per hour, unless you pay for their specific GPS service. Lisa Su just showed the world where the hidden speed limiter is, and the tech community is furious. What makes this move by AMD so devastating is the timing. Microsoft is currently trying to force millions of users to upgrade to Windows 11 under the guise of security and AI readiness. They are ending support for older versions, effectively creating a massive wave of electronic waste. But Lisa Su's revelation shows that the hardware requirements are largely arbitrary. She demonstrated that AMD's architecture can handle advanced AI tasks on platforms that Microsoft is trying to phase out. This exposes the fact that the Windows empire isn't about innovation anymore. It's about forced cycles of consumption. By showing that AMD chips can do more with less, Lisa Su has given every major laptop manufacturer and every enterprise IT department a reason to question their loyalty to the Microsoft roadmap. Let's talk about the silicon itself, because this is where the magic happens. Lisa Su has a doctorate from MIT in electrical engineering, and it shows. While other CEOs are focused on marketing fluff, she focuses on the interconnects and the instruction sets. AMD has moved to an architecture that allows for much more fluid data movement between the CPU, the GPU, and the AI engine. Microsoft's software is still very rigid in how it assigns tasks. Lisa Su exposed the fact that Windows is actually the bottleneck. You could have the most powerful AMD chip in the world, and Windows would still be trying to run AI tasks through old, inefficient pathways. This is why AMD is now pushing for a more open software ecosystem that doesn't rely on the Windows middleman. If you can run your AI tools directly on the hardware without Microsoft's overhead, why do you even need Windows? This is the nightmare scenario for Redmond. For the first time in 30 years, the operating system is becoming irrelevant. In the past, you bought a chip to run Windows. Now you are buying a chip to run AI models like Llama or Stable Diffusion, or your own custom neural nets. Lisa Su has aligned AMD with the open source community, making sure their hardware works perfectly with the frameworks that developers actually use, not just the ones Microsoft owns. This has created a massive rift. Developers are realizing that they get better performance on Linux or even on raw hardware abstractions than they do on the latest version of Windows. Lisa Su's technical deep dive proved that the AI PC isn't a Windows product. It's an AMD hardware reality that Microsoft is trying to take credit for. The implications for the laptop market are huge. We have seen the rise of the Copilot Plus PC, which Microsoft launched with a huge amount of fanfare, specifically highlighting ARM-based chips. It was a clear attempt to move away from the traditional x86 powerhouses like AMD, but Lisa Su's response was a masterclass in engineering. She showed that AMD's x86 processors can beat those ARM chips in battery life and absolutely crush them in compatibility and raw AI performance. She exposed the lie that ARM was the only way to get efficiency. By doing this, she saved the traditional PC ecosystem, while simultaneously proving that Microsoft's pivot to ARM was more about controlling the hardware supply chain than it was about giving users a better experience. Microsoft's AI strategy is heavily dependent on the cloud. They want you to use Copilot because every query you make sends data to their servers, which they can then use to train their models and charge you a monthly fee. Lisa Su's vision is the exact opposite. She is advocating for local AI. She wants the processing to happen on your device, in your home or office, where your data is private and the response is instant. By exposing how powerful AMD's local AI processing really is, she has highlighted the unnecessary nature of Microsoft's cloud-first approach. If your laptop can handle the work itself, why would you pay Microsoft $20 a month to do it in the cloud? This is a direct hit to Microsoft's future revenue streams, and it's why this revelation is being treated like a declaration of war. The tech industry is at a crossroads. We are moving away from the era of general-purpose computing and into the era of accelerated computing. In this new world, the software matters less than the efficiency of the compute. Lisa Su's leadership has positioned AMD to be the primary provider of that compute. Whether it's in the massive data centers running ChatGPT, or the thin and light laptop in your backpack, AMD is creating a unified architecture that scales. Microsoft, on the other hand, is stuck trying to modernize a legacy operating system that was built for a world of floppy disks and dial-up internet. Lisa Su's presentation made it clear that Windows is increasingly becoming a layer of digital friction that gets in the way of true AI performance. One of the most shocking parts of the exposure was the data on latency. Lisa Su showed that when running large language models locally on AMD hardware, the response time is nearly instantaneous. When you run those same models through the Windows AI interface, there is a measurable delay caused by the operating system's telemetry and background processes. This proves that Microsoft is prioritizing their own data collection over your user experience. It's a huge blow to the credibility of the Windows brand. For years, we've tolerated Windows getting slower with every update, but in the world of AI, speed is everything. If AMD can offer a faster, cleaner, and more private experience by bypassing Windows, the Empire's days are numbered. The enterprise sector is already starting to react. Large corporations that spend billions on IT infrastructure are looking at Lisa Su's benchmarks and realizing they've been overpaying for Microsoft licenses that actually hinder their AI goals. We are seeing a surge in interest for AMD-powered workstations that run specialized, lightweight environments designed for maximum throughput. This is the beginning of the great decoupling. The tie between the processor and the operating system is snapping. Lisa Su has effectively decapitated the Windows empire by proving that the most important technology of our time doesn't need Windows to thrive. Let's look at the gaming world for a second, because that's another area where Lisa Su has exposed the cracks in the empire. Gaming is often the precursor to mainstream tech trends. AMD dominates the console space, powering both the PlayStation and the Xbox. But Lisa Su has been pushing for technologies like FSR and specialized AI upscaling that work across all platforms. Microsoft has tried to counter this with their own Auto SR feature, but it's limited to very specific new Windows devices. Lisa Su's open approach means that older hardware and diverse systems get the benefit, while Microsoft's approach is a gate-kept garden. This has led many gamers to look toward Linux-based handhelds, like the Steam Deck, which uses AMD hardware to deliver an experience that many feel is superior to Windows. The lie of the AI PC is also a lie about hardware longevity. Microsoft wants you to believe that your current computer is a dinosaur, but Lisa Su's architecture is designed with a much longer tail. She's focusing on chiplet designs that allow for easier upgrades and better yields. By showing that she can integrate powerful AI cores into existing chip designs, she has exposed the fact that Microsoft's hardware requirements are a choice, not a necessity. They chose to exclude millions of PCs. AMD chose to innovate in a way that includes as many users as possible. This contrast in philosophy is what is ultimately going to decide who wins the next decade of tech. Lisa Su's influence extends far beyond the consumer space. In the world of high-performance computing, AMD is now the provider of the world's fastest supercomputers. These machines don't run Windows. They run highly optimized, specialized software that talks directly to the AMD silicon. By bringing that same philosophy to the consumer market, Lisa Su is threatening to turn Windows into nothing more than a legacy app launcher. If the most important work you do is performed in a browser or a specialized AI tool, the operating system becomes a background detail. Microsoft knows this, which is why they are trying so hard to integrate AI into every corner of the OS. But as Lisa Su showed, that integration is often clunky and inefficient compared to what the hardware can do on its own. The financial sector is also taking note. AMD's stock and market share have been on a steady climb, while Microsoft is facing increasing scrutiny over the return on investment for their massive AI expenditures. By exposing the inefficiencies in Microsoft's approach, Lisa Su has provided a roadmap for how AI can be done profitably and effectively on the edge. This is a massive shift in the power dynamic of Silicon Valley. For years, Microsoft was the giant that everyone had to appease. Now with Lisa Su at the helm, AMD is the company that defines the pace of innovation. They are the ones setting the bar, and Microsoft is the one struggling to clear it. The most exciting part of this revelation is what it means for the average user. If the Windows empire is truly hitting a wall, it means we are about to see a massive explosion in alternative computing devices. We are talking about AI-first devices that aren't hampered by 30 years of legacy code. We are talking about laptops that last for days on a single charge and offer privacy by default. This is the future Lisa Su is building, and it's a future where Microsoft is just another software company, not the ruler of the digital world. The exposure of the AI lie is the catalyst for this change. It's the moment the collective tech world realized that the emperor has no clothes, or at the very least, his clothes are very poorly optimized. Microsoft will of course try to pivot. They have too much money and too many talented engineers to go down without a fight. We can expect to see them attempt to tighten their integration with other hardware partners, or perhaps even release their own branded silicon on a larger scale. But they are playing catch-up. Lisa Su has spent the last decade rebuilding AMD from the ground up, focusing on the core engineering problems that others ignored. That head start is now manifesting as a total hardware advantage. In the tech world, hardware is the ultimate truth. You can't code your way out of a silicon deficiency, and right now AMD has the superior architecture. As we look toward the next couple of years, the battle for the heart of the PC will only intensify. We will see more benchmarks, more white papers, and more leaked memos. But the core message from Lisa Su remains unchanged. The future of AI is open, it's local, and it's powered by AMD. The Windows empire was built on a specific set of circumstances that no longer exist. The transition from general-purpose CPUs to AI-accelerated systems is the most significant change in the history of the personal computer. By capturing this transition point, Lisa Su hasn't just improved AMD's position, she has redefined what a computer is. The biggest lie was that you needed Microsoft to enter the AI age. Lisa Su proved that you only need a high-performance chip and an open mind. She exposed the artificial barriers and the hidden bottlenecks. She showed that the true power of AI lies in the hands of the engineers who build the silicon, not the marketers who sell the subscriptions. This is a wake-up call for the entire industry. It's time to move past the era of the Windows empire and embrace a more diverse, efficient, and powerful digital future. The fallout from this exposure will be felt for a long time. It will change how laptops are designed, how software is written, and how we interact with our devices. It's a victory for engineering over marketing, and for performance over control. Lisa Su has once again proven why she is one of the most respected figures in tech. She didn't just build a better chip, she broke the grip of a monopoly and showed us a better way forward. The Windows empire might not disappear overnight, but the foundation has been cracked beyond repair. In the end, the winner of this conflict will be us, the consumers. We will get better products, more choices, and more freedom. We will no longer be held hostage by the upgrade cycles of a single company. We will have the power of AI at our fingertips, running on hardware that is designed for us, not for a corporate bottom line. That is the true legacy of Lisa Su's revelation. She didn't just expose a lie, she unlocked a future that belongs to everyone. So, as you watch the latest Windows updates roll out and the new Copilot features get advertised, remember what Lisa Su showed us. Remember that the true innovation is happening in the silicon, and that the barriers we've been told are necessary are actually just illusions. The era of the Windows empire is fading, and a new, more powerful era of computing is beginning. It's an exciting time to be a tech fan, and we have the engineering brilliance of AMD to thank for it. The lie is out, the truth is clear, and the world of computing will never be the same again.